Do I want her to like me? I think I want her to like me. She seems really bratty, though. Maybe I can coax that brattiness out. Alright, I'm gonna save here. So we went there, we talked to her. We talked to him. Let's try the old walls entrance. Where is that? Oh, I guess I should talk to you.
Good day, Fatebinder. What do you need?
What do you know about the state of the world? What's there to say? Kyros' two major leaders can't stop themselves or their armies from fighting like a bunch of children. Neither of them are capable of dealing with the rebels that are taking them down, which, as far as I'm concerned, is how it should be. The less the tears are infected by Kyros, the better. If we could eliminate in fireside too, what do you know anything going on in Tears? I know a great deal about what's going on, considering I'm the root cause of at least half of it. What do you want to know? How long have you been here? Since the beginning of the occupation, Kyros wanted me out of sight, but still in use. So I was given to Nerat. It used me to gather fodder for the chorus. What do you think of Tunon? He makes me uncomfortable. There's nothing behind the mask. It's dark and empty. What do you mean? Everyone has a presence. It's how my magic works. I reach into them and convince their presence to do what I want. He has no presence. When I reached into him, there was nothing. It was bleak. I never want to feel that again. If you have to reach into someone's mind to control them, how did you influence entire armies? I can't influence an army, but I can persuade them to feel the way I want them to. If I want to get someone to do a specific thing for me, I have to get inside their head, and that requires a lot more effort. No one can keep me out. But if you're aware of what I'm doing, I can't force them to do anything. At least not with this thing on my head. What can you tell me about the chorus? If I never talk to another chorus member in my entire life, I will consider it a success, no matter what else happens. Weren't you a member? What? Absolutely not. The only reason I worked with him is because I was being forced to. Once Kyros had this monstrosity put on my head, I really had no choice. I'm not powerful enough to force them to let me go, and they had the numbers to overwhelm me if I tried anything, so I did what I was told until you showed up. What's it like working for them? Well, at first I was treated like a queen. I spent all my time recruiting, and let's be honest, Scarlet Cruz isn't choosy, so it was easy to convince people to join. Toward the end, I actually started fearing for my life. With this thing on my head, I couldn't effectively control an entire army. So hobbling me was quite an intelligent thing for Kyros to do. If anyone had realized I couldn't hold all of them back, I would have been in big trouble. Your little stunt at the well couldn't have come at a better time. What do you think of him? If I had a look of disgust, kind of answered that question. They're worthless, hopeless, disorganized bunch of savages who will tear themselves apart from the inside. What's your opinion on their methods? They randomly grab anyone and anything they can get their hands on and hope they'll work if they beat them enough. Sounds like the Markers are a fantastic army to me. I am repulsed by them and everything they do. Nerat is a disgusting excuse for a leader, and I look forward to the day I can watch their life drain from its insane eyes. I want to know about Kyros. How did you come to work for him? After my father betrayed me and got my mother killed, I was taken by Kyros' men. I honestly don't know where we went, other than it seemed to take forever to get there. Then I was put in school. It was wonderful and horrible at the same time. I learned how to control and maximize my power, but they underestimated my abilities and overestimated theirs. I think it was more of the latter than the former. They unleashed my true power. Did they believe I wouldn't try to run with it? They tried to train and mold me and in that they succeeded. They also tried to brainwash me and break me. In that they failed spectacularly. I was punished for it. What do you think of Kyros? Honestly, I didn't really think of him at all at first. If I wasn't getting daily reminders that he owned me and could have killed me at any time he wanted, I would have completely forgotten he existed. How long did you work for him? I despise him. It's because of him I don't have a family. It's because of him my mother is dead. It's because of him I am here instead of anywhere else. But as a child, I was kept too busy to interact with him much. 5 years, 2 years dedicated to training, 2 years training interspersed with travel, performing miracles in Kyros' name. What was life like? For several years, I was surrounded by people who would smile to my face and sneer when I turned away. They were supposed to be my mentors and teachers, but all they did was resent me. They taught me to refine and control my voice. My power became more directed, more powerful, more subtle. I no longer needed to specifically say what I wanted people to do. I could think that what I wanted, how I felt, and the weaker the mind, the faster they would respond. It still required me to sing, or at the very least make music with my voice. But I could say one thing and mean something else entirely, and the magic worked. Everything was done for Kyros' edification. They asked for signs of her power, and I was used to bring them about. People praised my name to the extent that was allowed, but if the focus of adoration ever truly pointed to me, it was quickly stifled. I didn't see much of Kyros. She was busy taking care of her affairs, and I was never allowed to forget by those who was in power I was allowed to exist. I was paraded around like a new jewel, and since I had real power, it took a while for the luster to fade. When I was tarnished, I corroded through. When I stopped being a pleasant distraction, I was passed off to Narat to be forgotten. Wait, yeah, you called Kyros a him and her. Is Kyros a man or a woman? You really don't know, do you? That's fascinating. I assumed the Fatebinder would have been given an audience with him. It doesn't seem like she'd let you perform action in his names without speaking to you. That's part of the mystique, isn't it? If your enemies don't know anything about you, how can they properly plan? So why would Kyros let anything out he didn't want the world to know? Tell me. No, a lady has some secrets, and this was going to be mine. It feels good to have some power in this relationship. Why were you punished? They assumed my abilities were exaggerated. They were powerful mages who spent years training their art. How can a little girl ever hope to rival their prowess? I grew tired of their condensation. I hated them for treating me like a child. Their rules, their discipline, their training. They had killed my mother, and I would make them pay for it. One day, I got bored in class. The teacher's droning voice put me to sleep in the afternoon heat, so I thought I'd have a little fun. He was distracted. He let his defenses down. How did you know? I could just feel it. If someone is alert and aware, it gets a lot harder to get inside. But I know that when they are vulnerable, I could take advantage of an opening and climb right in. I started humming. Nothing that would attract his attention, of course. A lullaby my mother sang to me. Fitting, I thought, to invade this man's mind with a song taught to me by the woman they destroyed. I could tell I'd gotten inside him when he slowed down ever so slightly. I started singing wordlessly, standing, working the hand motions. They were completely unnecessary, but I had to be trained. I was trained to be a performer. Then I worked in words. The window, I sang. Look at the window. He turned entranced and stared outside, his mouth moving silently as he dreamed an answer to my question. What's out there? I asked. What could it be? I was elated. Go on. Of course, I didn't make him to fall. He was looking out the window and reached up as if he could touch it. Before I could stop him, he was gone, like he was trying to catch something as he fell out of sight. Don't say he's sorry. He was a horrible man. They wanted to cut out my tongue. Even at 8, I didn't blame them. It's what I would have done, but Kyros said no, doing the one kind act she ever did for me. Without the power of speech, I was essentially useless. So they muzzled me. They knew simply holding my mouth shut wasn't going to be efficient, so they got this creative. Using sage magic, they put my voice in stasis when I wasn't in class. I could go through the motions of speech, but nothing came out. Oh, did they take pleasure in it. Between classes, they gave me chores, they berated me, they beat me, I was their slave. The only reason I lived was Kyros' whim, but I was tortured by everyone else. There were at least 2 teachers in my class after the incident. I always accompanied by 2 guards, both whom had been deafened so I couldn't affect them. I accidentally killed one man, and they were acting like I destroyed a realm. What do you know about the disfavored? Not much about them. Never got a chance to work with them, so I don't think I'll be much help on this topic. What do you know about Graven Ash? Capable enough, organized, seems to care about his men. Have you seen them in action? Briefly. Few battles in Kyros. They like to keep me locked up tight, so I never got it. So you never worked for them? Not directly. Humans are also humans. Yep, same as beast women, only smaller and weaker. Die easily. Okay, that was a little harsh. In my brief time, I had much experience in beastmen, so I haven't gotten a chance to form much an opinion on them. Go on, child, forget Lilstorn. Still likes cheering Archon. Rebel groups, the Guard, Broken, Bronze Brotherhood, Mage Guilds. They're demanding. Sages. Earthshakers. Forgebound.
What do you need?
What do you know about the edicts? Okay. You must mean something about the edicts.
What do you need?
I want to know more about you. Tell me about your homeland. What's there to say? It's fuzzy. Can't remember. You're a northerner. You're a bunch of farmers. Nothing about my home or past is worth dwelling on, Fatebinder. I barely remember my father. My mother is dead, and the only thing people ever wanted me was my song. The girl is powerful. Bring the songbird. We need a blessing. Our crops are withering. What was that bitch done? Nothing in your past is worth dwelling on? Looks like you remember something. I suppose. When an angry mom fears you and what they can do to stone your mother to death while she shields her with sticks to you. Do you remember about your family? Can't miss them if you're taken from them. You were taken? So no family left? They're dead. My mom cared about me. Do you remember your mother? She's dead, so I don't have remember much. She loved me, that much I know. But sometimes I wonder if she felt love or fear. Fear for me or of me. Sometimes I don't know if there was a difference between the two. He disappeared after my mother died and I was kidnapped. I didn't hear anything about him for the longest time, so I assumed he disappeared and would never see him again. Then somebody brought word he had been found. He killed himself, and now he's out of my life. For someone who's always a lot to say, that was incredibly suchness. Is there more? You're a relentless Fatebinder. So you wanted to see him. He looked up and smiled. He smiled when he saw me. Can you believe that? He smiled, opened his heart to hug me. It felt like somebody reached into my chest and squeezed my heart. So I sang him a song. I told him how tired he looked and how haggard he seemed. I spoke of the weariness he must feel, the guilt that surely plagued him each day. I asked how he withstood the weight of his betrayal, and the burden must be too much to bear. I watched tears down his face as he pulled the dagger from his belt, the sobs that tore him as he held it before him, thinking about his wife and child. The ecstatic relief as he... Oh, so yeah, he got what he deserved. That's what I tell myself, and for the most of the part, I believe it. I can't help wondering what terrible things he did in the 5 years after he vanished, and what I might have prevented if he'd only been around to hear the morning my mother died. Do you have any siblings? I was close to a boy in my village, but his mother stopped letting me play with him when everybody realized what my powers were. A living sibling? My brother died very young. I never knew him, so I hardly count him as a sibling. Life in the middle of no extinguisher. How long have you been practicing magic? No memory ever been without power. How did you meet Narat? And you were on his doorstep. You made a mistake trying a song on Kyros, and forgiveness isn't exactly the Overlord's vocabulary. Interestingly enough, I think it almost worked. Can you imagine how differently things would have been if I was a little more practiced? I was brought out to manage lavish gatherings as he loved showing me off, impressing the gathered elite. So I performed, I sang, I danced, I convinced people to join in. In the middle of it all, I had a brilliant idea, worked one more performance into the show, something that would be the ultimate ending to the ending. I added a counterpoint to my song and directed it to Kyros. In it, he mentioned how everybody was missing. It went as far as Kyros unsheathing one of the royal guard's swords, but everything stopped. I don't know why. It was probably me. I got too excited, lost control, but whatever reasons Kyros started... Of course I was. Saving the world? Saving my own skin, of course. Ah, so you couldn't execute in front of everybody. I've been inside this by time before. How we're gonna feel like a different person inside of me. Wait, what does Nerat want from you that he was never going to get? Come on, Fatebinder, you can't be that naive. I'm still a child, and I'm not I know about adult urgings, as one of my old teachers so clumsily put it. Somewhere inside that chaotic mind, I saw the most deprived and disturbing desires I've had the misfortune of feeling. No matter what Nerat says to you, do not trust it. That's always going to end badly. It's a bane of my existence, and something that's incredibly painful to talk about. What does it do? It makes me impotent. Do you have any idea what it's like to have a hurricane raging inside you? To feel like the gales crashing against you? To be released some breeze? Made it for me. If I attempt anything more powerful than a simple tune, it will kill me. Isn't that simply wonderful? Honestly, to be terrified by a mere child. Why do you have it? Because you tried killing Kyros once. Can't you take it off? Because I'll die if it's not removed the proper way, you simpleton. Do you think I'd leave it on otherwise? If you can't take it off, then why did you try to get me to remove it when we met? You were going to try to control me. How do you know you'll die if you remove it? Because they said, okay. Alright. What would it take to remove it? Someone beating the information out of Nerat or Kyros. The only ones who know how to construct it and how it works. They tried magic, it wouldn't work.
What do you need? Are we trading in gossip now, Fatebinder? Or are you collecting information to use against us? What do you want to know about?
Verse.
That bitch? I'd walk her off the spire if I knew I could get away with it. I don't know why you even waste your time with her. She's rude, violent, base, impatient, and entirely pointless. You should keep much better company, Fatebinder. You asked me what I thought. I can't help it if the facts are painful to swallow.
Landry.
I'm jealous of him. I've heard so much about the Vellum Citadel, and he actually got to see it before all the unpleasantness. Although not all sages are necessarily worthy of praise. Some are a little overly fond of excesses, of one kind or another.
Ebb.
She's got some power in there, that's for sure. And as long as I'm crippled, I will, begrudgingly mind you, admit she could probably win if we were pitted against each other. Although I'm more than happy to give her a try. Are you game, Ebb? Think you could take me out?
I'm sorry, sweetie, I'm confused. Are you offering me a duel, or something a little more down and dirty?
You know what I meant!
Oh, don't worry, dear. You're far too young for me. I like someone with a little wear and tear on them, and not just up here.
Though I suppose I should watch myself around her. You never know how people will react to a challenge.
Killing shadows.
I'm not entirely sure what to say. I don't think much of her because I try not to think of her much. Have you seen the way she stares at me? Is that a smile? Or is she hoping I let down my guard so she can tear out my throat? Beastmen are too hard to read. Their thoughts are all blood and rending and rutting.
I'm not always thinking of killing with rending claws. Sometimes I'm thinking how human packmates are like brood cubs, like hairless first-season whelps. Need cleaning and protecting. Need beast woman.
And then it goes from death and blood to love and care, or whatever constitutes love and care to a beast woman, which could very well involve blood and rending and rutting. It's all very confusing. I don't hate her, but she has the uncanny ability to make me uncomfortable without knowing exactly why I feel that way.
What about Barrack?
The walking ring pile? Let's hope you never have to go anywhere unnoticed. There's nothing particularly wrong with him, I suppose, but he doesn't seem overly bright.
He's not.
I mean, what kind of idiot do you have to be if you can't even take off your armor? I'll admit he can handle himself in a fight, but he could use a little more up here. What do you need? What do you need?
You have a way with words, Siren. Were you instructed on how to speak with others? Of course. One of the only good things that came out of my time with Kyros was my education. My teachers insisted I be trained on proper way to speak with the royal court. I was frequently mistaken for someone older, so I think I got away with a lot more than I could have otherwise. For all their failings, they made sure I was properly educated. My favorite class was learning how to talk to people into what you wanted to do without using magic. Can you believe that? Why in the world would you risk it? Fascinating subject. Ooh, sigil of emotion. What does it do? Taunt affliction, sigil strength 1. Oh, 58. Let's give you some magic abilities. We'll give you frost. And we'll give you lightning. No, you can't get that. Never mind. And we'll give you this one. And we should give you some healing. Okay, cool. Alright, that's enough talking. Let's get to the old walls. I'm gonna have to go shield
Anything
and
for
more.
Alf. Nope, nope, nope. Follow Beast Woman's lead.
Alright, we're gonna have to go all the way to the back. Oh my god. All the way back. Go up there. That's poor kid. Maybe she's trying to manipulate me. She seems alright. Forge Banner cool with me. Still need to use his helmet more. Tunon's cool with me. He's cool with me. He hates fuck. He's getting cool with me. I'm a very cruel person. You'll figure it out. I like hurting people. That's my thing. Alright, let's go to the Old Walls entrance. I want to control the spire. Wait, what's this? What's this house? Have I been in this house? I think I've been in this house. I haven't been in this house.
Nope, nope.
I guess you're not interested? Okay. That was not fruitful at all.